Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose qualifiers for the European region, as we now get into our series to determine who is going to be first place in this qualifier.
Yeah, the third game of the evening. Which player will get the plane ticket and hotel expenses paid by ESL and Intel to go compete at this tournament? Is it going to be the European, the Spaniard, or is it going to be the Korean here? Which player? Well, I guess we'll decide after this best of three.
Yes, we shall. Deadwing is going to be our first map between First and VortiX. VortiX does look good so far. He said to me in chat that he seems to play better when he hasn't been practicing as much. So there you go. That's how VortiX wins, I guess. So let's jump into things for game at number 1, as we have Deadwing our map. First looking good, though, against Yoda. Really pulling out some strong games.
Yep.
And he is going to be spawning up to the top left-hand corner as our blue Protoss. It is First, representing TCM. And down to the bottom right-hand corner, cross positions here on Deadwing, representing Millennium, it is VortiX.
Yeah, all I would be thinking that First would have said is, thank God I'm not playing versus Snoot and Swarm hosts, which he's lost many a game against. VortiX can definitely still play Swarm host, but it is not his most common choice of strategy. VortiX is, it can kind of play any style, but every style well, not one style better than the rest. VortiX usually is just very good at scouting, defending, and then kind of seeing how the game is going, depending on what to use. So I guess we'll see what he's going to use here, though. Deadwing, very easy to take 3-4 bases. One problem that has been consistent is, well, it won't be for First, but VortiX is third, potentially, depending on where he takes it, can get exploited. If it's the one that is there, because of the low ground units, can get pretty annoying. But then if he wants to take the other one, he's got to start thinking about breaking the debris down fast. Otherwise, he's going to have a hard time getting the reinforcements around. So
over here, yeah.
We'll see. I wonder what style's going to be good here. I don't think like a Ling heavy style is that effective. That's the thing with Protoss on this map, is that they're kind of tucked away nicely on 3 or 4 bases here. So it's difficult to use like an Ultralist style. It's a little bit more difficult to use a Phoenix style. I don't know. We'll see what. First is very good, though, at playing long games. He's been tortured and tormented by Snoot for a long time, so...
Yeah, he has. Even in a very similar position to this one. Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen this a few times.
Yeah, I thought the Forge was just for a little bit of safety in case there was an early spawning pool, because he didn't know where he was, but...
I was a little bit scared of the timing of the probe going out, so I was maybe anticipating something a bit cannon rushy, and First is already bringing that.
Yep. Yeah, it's hatchery first here, makes sense.
Yeah.
And VortiX has got to think about a follow-up already. He's taken a single gas here inside his main base. His cannon will complete on the natural. He may try to, I mean, I don't think he's going to cancel his hatch at all. I think he'd try to build a spine there and try and
keep going?
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be very difficult because, I mean, the pylon range is already complete, though. I mean, he can't really get any closer pylons.
Yeah. Or
cannons, sorry, to the hatchery. So.
And the cannon was so well timed there, just to finish just as that hatchery had finished up as well.
And VortiX is like, I mean, First is like, well, you've kept the hatchery alive, so I'll build a couple extra cannons to make sure you die here.
And the thing is that because there was the wall off at the top of the ramp, there is the other hatchery going down, and that's kind of vulnerable as well, depending on how much he uses to break out. I guess, very clever by VortiX, actually bringing Lings out from the natural to actually keep those around. So technically, this hatchery will be protected.
Yeah, but he's going to be, you know, on two weird bases versus a Protoss on 2 bases as well. These 4 Lings shouldn't do anything here. There's a wall off and cannon being built on the other side of the map. What follow-up is VortiX going to do is just naturally fallen crazy far behind in this game. Just wonder what can he do.
It's difficult to clean this up cost efficiently at the front of your main base whilst really trying to poke at the front.
Or something here?
He's got to do something, right? He's taking another gas, so it's going to be a bit more tech-heavy. Or, I guess, there we go. There's the layer.
Layer. So like a Nidus Worm.
Well, this Overlord is actually already moving into position over on this left-hand side, so maybe he can get it in the main somewhere.
And he's
because
got
it's
Lings
big.
that can give him Nidus Worm outside the natural or something.
True.
So I'd imagine probably Nidus Worm is the only really thing that makes sense now.
I love watching First still being as harassing as ever with these 2 probes, trying to get some kills, but the Lings should push that.
Still droning up towards the space here, though. I don't know what this layer is exactly going to be for.
There's the Roach Warren. If he went Nidus with this Roach Warren, that could be very strong.
Yes, it could be.
There's never really that many units when you're going up against something like this kind of cannon rush.
Yeah, but all you need to do is just add on a bunch of cannons on the natural and make sure you don't let a Nidus inside your main base.
But can you deny it if it is going to be in the main base? This
just
Overlord.
pull the probes, hopefully.
Yeah.
So you need a pylon, though.
He needs, yeah, needs to see it.
If that's what it is, though. And first goes in with his probe, actually.
He's got to be worried.
Down and is like, wait a minute.
Yeah. He'll, after seeing that layer as quick as it is, he'll just take precautions everywhere, or should be doing at least.
Yeah, where is the Nidus if he's going to use it?
No,
if he's even going to use it.
I mean, he doesn't have to, of course. Just starts roach speed and...
Well, he's not going
roaches.
to. He's just building roaches.
And first actually opting for Stargate here, because he saw the Roach War and he knows his opponent's in a bit of a crippled economy position, so the only thing it would normally do, there's the Nidus. If he got a Void Ray out, it's like a great response.
Yeah, Void Ray's game over. But he's got to identify what's going on. He's got a part inside his main base, so it's all about the natural. The main base is covered. You can pull probes fast enough here to stop that.
Yeah.
So it's just about making sure your natural doesn't die here.
Could he sneak it in between here? Maybe? I don't know. It's really ambitious. It's really risky because units are always traversing between and forth. Yeah, but that's where he's going to go for it.
Yeah, and the probe's going to see it here. If he puts it down.
It's going to be... Oh, yes. Nice.
So Mothership's out as well. Void Ray should be started. And Mothership will have a photon overcharge soon. Void Ray, Oracle's out. Oracle's not as good here, but another cannon...
Well, that's the cool thing, right? You know, because he's locking down his main base, all he has to worry about now is the front. But
yeah, but he hasn't got a sentry or anything, and it's an Oracle, which isn't that good because queens can be used in this too.
Yeah.
The probe actually sees the Nidus Swarm now on the other side of the map, so and he's heard it too. Start making a wall off properly. You cannot let these units just walk past.
No, you cannot. That's a lot of roaches as well. One cannon for now isn't going to break them down that quickly.
He hasn't put enough defense on his natural.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. He could have done more, right? Just one cannon was never, one extra cannon was never really going to hold off that much against that. And now he's banking.
The game's over.
But he's banking all of his hopes on that Oracle really doing a lot.
Kill the pylon, kill the Stargate.
Yeah. This is a nice response here from VortiX.
And there's 5 more roaches on the way. Oh. First.
It's not the game we expected, sadly. The Oracle's going to try and get in there. There actually is a pylon in the main base of VortiX, but he just needs his queens to do the job at the back at home.
He's got a Void Ray out now, but...
Yeah, he's going to lose so many probes. That being said, some drones did die, and the Oracle is dead as well, so...
It's just 2 very low economy players. I wonder if he can stabilize here. He's going to... Oh, he's had to use the foot overcharge in the main. The Void Ray will clean up a lot of this, but he's got to not lose probes.
Yeah.
There's more roaches about to walk in.
It's 5 workers to 19. I don't think this is recoverable. He's going to lose every single one, so... Unfortunately, first, he doesn't even have... Oh, okay, he did have some money to make 2 more probes that are already on the way, but if he killed those off, there'd be no more money at all.
Yeah, I mean... All you've got to do is defend the natural against this. Yeah. I don't really like the Oracle choice. It should have been straight Void Ray. Should have thought about maybe squeezing out a sentry, maybe making a full wall, and you can always kill it later. VortiX is now just 1 game away, funny enough, to actually making his first Intel Masters in 2 years, pretty much, or roughly around that time. So it's been a long time since we've seen him.
Yeah, and not only that, he's going through this qualifier and defeating some of the favorites, basically, with Saxory falling to him in the past one and first losing that first game. So VortiX 1 game away. Interesting.
Yeah, this is, I mean, definitely first is going to be kicking himself to put himself in a position now where he needs to win 2 games in a row. VortiX is just now 1 game away from making sure he goes through in first place. And a couple of people were talking about it before. The second qualifier spot does come from the lower bracket where the players are still competing. So if VortiX takes his first place here and first drops down, then of course first will be able to compete with the rest of the players that have dropped down to the lower bracket to try and take that second spot. And Overgrowth is the next map here. First should not be, letting such easy things slip his way.
And it's funny overall, because as much as VortiX can play like a big range of styles, I feel this is where he thrives more than not. Like, in these weird situations where he just lets his instincts take over and it's like, well, it's time to go Roach Nidus and try and do some damage at the front. I really do feel that's where VortiX has some of his best performances. Yeah,
VortiX is... I think VortiX's key strength as a player is probably choosing the right strategy at the right time.
Yeah.
Like in every scenario, like he's very good at saying, okay, I'm just going to do this, and this is how I'm going to win the game. I don't think he's very complete and all round when it comes to unit compositions and most other kind of strengths that players have. But his decision making is always one of his best, I feel.
Yeah, and it really showed there. It really did. Because now he's one game away from advancing on. But you actually made a good point before, because if you get to the winner's bracket final and if you unfortunately lose here, at least you go straight into the next series for you, which is another qualification series. So getting to the winner's final is a big, big deal in these kind of double elimination tournaments where only 2 people advance.
All right,
so getting into the next game, VortiX 1 map away from advancing on. And yeah, we haven't really seen him too much at Intel Extreme Masters for a long time. So not only that, but I mean, I was bringing up the point that we haven't seen really Saxory in America. I don't think we've really seen that much of VortiX in America.
No, never.
So
the thing with VortiX is, it's good to, more so than who's going to America or not, it's, everyone came into today's qualifier expecting the Koreans to qualify. And VortiX is about to take 1 slot away from them here in this European qualifier. So if he's able to pick up this series.
All right, well, let's get into it then. Game number 2, as we have, spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner, it's our TCM representative. It is first. And up to the top right, it's our red Zerg representing Millennium. It's VortiX.
Shouldn't have built the Oracle.
Straight to Void Ray, you think, overall?
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's no reason to...
I was very surprised.
It's greedy. I mean, it's like, I'm going to defend after once I do more damage to you. Like, you don't need to do more damage after what you pulled off. You just finish it, man. Just defend. And so it's a mistake from first.
Yeah, he had a significant probe lead going into that, and is, in those 2 locations, forcing your opponent to take the third in that position on Deadwing. It's a little bit more vulnerable, as you were mentioning before as well. So all of these things work in tandem to make it difficult for VortiX if the game goes on longer. But first, not willing to do that in the end.
All right, so it looks like we are going to see another cannon very early, or not cannon but forge, potentially cannon here, depending on what VortiX chooses. 13 forge, nice and early. And it is a spawner pool first, so it's just going to be a hatchery. Hatchery after the spawner pool, and then Nexus coming out very shortly for first here. Cannot cannon rush the spawner pool first player, and then the game will move on from this point. But you've got to be very careful. There are a lot of different choices that Protoss can use here on Overgrowth, whether it be a fast third base, whether it be a hidden probe, and something aggressive towards the third of the Zerg player, which is usually to the left-hand side of his natural. And upon seeing no hatchery, and it's already known this is spawner pool, Nexus will be thrown down earlier. But if it was a hatchery, you want to cannon rush again.
Yeah, wouldn't have minded that at all. So, him first really kind of pulling out the stops early on in these games, and a little bit of a mispositioning by the looks of things on this Nexus. Slows it down and costs him a little bit of minerals. That's kind of sad.
Yeah, that is a little bit sad there, unfortunately.
My heart goes out to people that do that. I've done it once or twice in my ladder games, and I'm like, oh no, why have I done that? Oh dear. Oh well.
Just to remind a couple of other people as well, is funny enough, with the players left in this tournament, the last Intel Extreme Masters qualifier that we ran in Europe was won by First in first place, and Yoda in second place. And they're both up for the same roles today again. Of course, First here playing for that first place spot. If he's able to beat VortiX, would get 2 qualification spots in a run for the Intel Extreme Masters here, dominating in the European qualifiers. VortiX could snatch that away. And Yoda's still fighting in the low bracket. But he's got a hard road left to go with 4GG down there, who has Terran versus Terran versus Terran lined up for him in the lower bracket. 4GG is going to be in his element in that lower bracket. But Saxory's still around, and Saxory is known to be a Terran killer.
Yeah.
So a very competitive lower bracket that we will be going into once this series is finished.
Sick hiding there from First, hiding in plain sight, really, and allowing him to get that spot of the third. He would have seen it anyway, probably, with those 2 lings going around. They wouldn't have killed it in time for that to be denied. But aside from that, Wall is up and running here for First.
So VortiX has played against this type of game for 4 years now. Okay, maybe not 4 years, like 3 years.
A long time.
Been a very long time, apart from the very early days of StarCraft 2, where it was still 1 base gateway expands for Protoss players. It's always been this type of build. It's very good to fall back onto this because it is a part of your it's just a part of your game now. It's always been there. So it's just like, all right, I take my gases around 6 minutes. I start to think about if I need a roach run around 7 minutes. I set my overlords in, you know, around 6 minutes 30 to get some more intel on what he's doing. And it's just kind of this, I've been doing this for 3 years. I know how to play this. And so as you can see, the gases should be taken in a second here at 6 minutes. The overlords are starting to go in for that 6 minute 30 scout. Depending on what he sees, he'll choose whether he goes for a roach warren early if it's more gateways. If he sees the Stargate, he may try to go fast for a layer, so he can go up to Hydralisk really fast and try Hydra timing. So it's a very, very textbook Zerg versus Protoss. We've seen this for a very, 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 very long time.
Yeah.
But will he see the Stargate scout? It's going to be close.
Stalker was actually quite late to react, so it took a little while longer for him to get down there, and that might cost him the information, because this Overlord should be able to spot
he sees
Stargate.
it. So at this point, when you see the Stargate, you just know that you kind of need to, even if it's Phoenix, you kind of need to throw Spore Crawlers down in case it's Oracles as well. And then you play around layer. You don't really want to try a Roach Ling play, or any aggressive gateway, or not kind of layer unit play, no, hatchery unit play, Ling Roach, because you don't know when the third's going to go down. If he sits back defensively on 2 bases, you fall behind with your economy. So it's just drone, 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 spore, 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 and start the layer, and then usually play for like a Hydra timing or something. With 24 Lings, this is maybe because he saw the +1 attack and has lost map vision in case it's going to be like a Phoenix Zealot play.
Yeah.
With +1 attack, so he can control the game a bit more.
Well, we'll see the Stalker out in the middle and be a little bit wary. Pushing that back, though, should be okay with all of these Lings he's got.
Yeah, this is definitely VortiX, like, a little bit worried.
That's a lot of Lings moving across, though. Maybe he's worried about a third going down behind this really quickly, so he's actually positioning himself to deny.
But there's 4 gateways, robotics facility, You're not going to get much done with these Lings.
Yeah, and that's a lot of lava invested into Lings that aren't going to do much.
Yeah, his drones definitely could have been higher.
Yeah, he's at 57 right now, which isn't too bad, but it could have been quicker.
Yeah. Yeah. But at this point, the robotic space is going to be next. First should take his time with his third base, does not need to rush it. Just get that +1, add in a couple of Zealots to your sentries, go take that third nice and safe, let the Phoenixes do the control of the game, get the harassment in. But if these sentries and Zealots got caught by these Lings, sayonara.
All right, well, gets himself 1 Queen pickup at least. Should be able to kill that off with the 4 Stalkers, 4 Phoenix there. There's so many Lings. So many Lings just running around having laps.
Yeah, they can't do it anymore, though. +1 attacks done on these Zealots. The third base can be taken.
Yeah. All right.
But he must not let Lings run into the main or natural, that's for sure.
No, he's actually looking for this round anyway.
Yeah, this won't work.
If he can get on top of the sentries, that'd be nice, but it's not the most efficient position at all. He needs to get out of there.
Yeah, but he can maybe cancel the third before he does.
Ooh,
that is better.
Yeah, thanks to the speed, and will get the cancellation. Good start, considering these Lings had to do something, but he did lose a lot of them in the process.
Interesting enough, double evolution Terran infestation pit here.
Yeah.
Very interesting play. I wonder what he's going to do with this.
If he goes down the Swarm Host route, I haven't seen VortiX play too many Swarm Host games.
He's very aggressive with them. He doesn't sit back too often.
Yeah. There's the 4th base on the way up to the top left-hand corner.
8 roaches, though. 8 roaches being added on says that he wants to kind of control any movement outs here by first, make sure he does not move out for an easy cancel on any bases or something.
VortiX basically wants to knock first out in the same way that Snoot knocked him out in that one Intel Extreme Masters qualifier. Play a game out long.
I don't think he will play the game that long, though.
You think he just gets aggressive, as you mentioned before?
VortiX isn't a kind of guy who creep spreads crazy and spore crawls everywhere like Snoot. Snoot has his own kind of swarm host style. VortiX is much more the type of aggressive swarm host player, if that even makes sense.
No, it does. You just position them in more of a frontal location and continually siege up, trying to force your opponent to, unfortunately, be broken down. So first might have that happen, but at the same time, he just got 1 Colossus out, so that number will start rising and continually try and hold off those locusts if they do come along.
Yeah, he'll need to add on a little bit more than what he's got currently. He doesn't know he's playing against swarm host yet. So he will do soon, and he already has that warp prism on that right-hand side. Second robotics facility will be key, a fast 4th base. And the thing is with first, he's so well practiced against this style. I mean, he lost versus Snoot so many times now.
Yeah.
And he's played against him a lot in different tournaments. He knows how to play against Snoot. And this is not Snoot, this is VortiX. So he's going to have an easier time than he would do if he hadn't have played so many games against Snoot.
And the thing is with the commitment to this many Swarm hosts is that if he does go out in an aggressive position, this Warp Prism is right on the right-hand side to start punishing, because how do you really reinforce the main, etc.?
He still hasn't seen the Swarm. Okay, so he's starting to see them now with his Hallucinate Feats. I'm not sure if he did see them yet, because there's no second robotics facility. He kind of saw a glimpse of it. But he's seen the Hive, which kind of looks like maybe a Viper push out or something. Or that's why he's probably moving out himself. I'm pretty sure he didn't see a Swarm host yet. So he's moving out, but he's going to walk into a wall, which is Locusts, and he won't be able to break it, probably.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, unless for some reason VortiX gets out of position with these. But
yeah, okay, now he sees a Locust, and I would probably continue on this left-hand side a little bit more, but then send the Warp Prism into the right. This is the perfect time.
Yeah.
Because in VortiX's shoes, he's like, oh god, this guy's attacking me. I've just got to be careful I don't die to anything here. But a fourth base should be established pretty fast. A second robotics facility should be added on, like a Colossus Stalker style, very active, creep denial, warp prism, harassment, into lots of economy.
And first realizes now the style that VortiX is playing, so he's taking the fourth base down to the bottom right, or trying to at least, and he's going to send in warp prism, but it does die pretty fast because there were two score callers there as opposed to one.
He wasn't looking after that very, very smartly.
Yeah.
So that didn't work out very well.
Not at all. So loses that. He is down in terms of supply at the moment. But by the looks of things, VortiX is actually playing the more defensive style of the Swarm host right now, which, do you think that he can continue to do this against First, who is well-versed against this now?
Well, I don't. He's going to do it anyway. Whether he'll be successful or not's different.
But, loses one Swarm host. That
First has to be very... He's got to keep the creep back. You've got to keep the creep back. Don't let any free bases be taken. You've just got to be so active. Very, very active against this.
I know that feel, bro. When you lose a Swarm host that's rallied into your other Swarm hosts that are burrowed, it's a sad feeling as a Zerg, but oh well. As for now, he at least has the Vipers out with the Swarm host to abduct anything that would come near him. And he'll be sitting pretty on his 5 bases for quite a while, but what First does on the other side of the map, I imagine he just has to play out long and get himself up a big air armada or something. I mean... Warp Prism harassment is always very important as well.
It's too early for an air army. You try that now, you give the game away. You can start getting ready for it, but you can't move into it yet. He's got to play a lot more active than he's doing. He can't sit back. Warp Prism 1 out, Warp Prism 2 on the way. Still needs to keep creep spread down. Problem is he's got to not take losses versus Locust at the same time.
Yeah. Creep spread, as you mentioned, wasn't going to be as aggressive as someone like Snoot, but it's getting there. It's getting there, and that will help out the push forwards.
Okay, big warp into the main base, about
nice
4 or 5 spines though.
And that all went pretty much undetected for a little while there, so he's going to go straight to the natural. But the reinforcing Lings and Queens should be able to shut it down.
Lost 2 Colossus in the middle already just by 2 abducts.
Oh, did he? Sorry, I missed that.
Not a good start here for First, and he's kind of in the middle of everything right now. He doesn't really have, you know, the Templar Archives used properly, doesn't really have Colossus used properly, doesn't really have Air used properly. He's just kind of in the middle of everywhere, and I guess all the times that he has lost in the past is kind of hurting him more so than not, because he's probably tormented. And I mean, I'd be having nightmares of this style, the amount of times he's lost to it.
It's like, not again, not again. But he's trying to set up now for that air transition across this. Because, again,
he's given too much freedom over now with this.
Yeah, it's VortiX is just going to propel himself really hard. I mean, the gold base hasn't even been mined from yet for VortiX, but, I mean, he's already got a big bank saved up here. So any trade he gets is brilliant for him.
Yeah, this is... VortiX is in great shape. 5 bases, creep spread good, fantastic upgrades, air upgrades on the way, great bank. It's going to be a long game.
Yep. The creep spread developing a little bit now on a few flanks as well over on this right-hand side, but the Swarm hosts don't really need to move away from this gold base. I mean, once the creep spread gets a little further forwards, how does First even move out until he has an air armada with the real mothership on the way?
He doesn't.
Nope, nope, nope. Where is the mothership? I keep clicking on it, but it won't take me to it. Oh, there we go. It was in between the 2 bases that I was trying to click on it.
Warp Prism attempt number 2, or 3, or 4, on the left-hand side and the main base.
Yeah. He sees the spines in the main. He's maybe a little bit apprehensive about going there, but if he got a big warp in, then maybe that would help out.
Good for VortiX to still keep roaches around so they can move over to kill these zealots up. No one really uses DTs anymore because they're so expensive, and there's always going to be detection around. It's just zealots only, and obviously Roach is very good at that.
All in all, what VortiX really needs to do is set up a ton of static defense across these swarm hosts. Like a lot of spores, if their ducks come in against this air armada that is going to be built.
Yeah, with the creep spread that he's got, he should start, as you said, to move or build more spore crawlers outside or around the Xel'Naga Tower area on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
To start to siege the gold base and just surround everything with spore crawlers and just put the pressure on, because right now he's built himself up nicely and has established himself nicely. But he's not really putting any pressure onto First at the moment, who is trying to build up all these Tempests to try to combat this, which they can work, mixing a couple of Oracles, a couple of Revelation spells so you can see further than they can shoot. Or see as far as they can shoot, sorry, and then they can start to kind of wear this down. But it looks like VortiX just moving his spore crawls now. I mean, not spores. Oh, everything. Okay.
It's all on the move, man.
It's ready. This right Xel'Naga Tower to siege this gold.
Yeah, makes it very hard to establish those bases in the middle of a Protoss because they are so close. So close.
The bad thing for First is he can have 4 bases at the back line of this map, but he's not taking his 5th anytime soon. This gold or the left-hand side. No. This will be sieged consistently for the rest of this game now.
Definitely, and that denies him from building up a good bank. Although that being said, his bank is pretty much invested in an army which is going to compose of a lot of Tempests. So keeping those alive against the Abducts is so important, and the Mothership core, the actual Mothership even, helps a lot with that because of the invisibility up until the point where Overseers start running in.
The problem is, for First, is because he's played kind of a 50-50 game all game long, and he's going to save that Nexus just, is that what we're going to see is a siege onto the gold, and we're going to see a lot of money spent to keep this gold alive, but then in a click of an instant, we can just see 1,000 Corruptors being built, which destroys absolutely everything that First has. You know, he can abduct the Mothership, get rid of that, get rid of the detection, and just fly in, spread out the Corruptors against any splash damage. There's only a couple of storms in the mix. Say about 6 to 8 storms, but you spread out, you dodge them, and then there's only 3 Void Rays. So, and you can trade because you've got so much money.
Good focus fire there in the end as he brings down a few of those Vipers coming in and moving into the fray. And he is technically saving this Nexus. I mean, the Colossi are doing a good job at actually denying the Locust, but at the same time, he has to be careful because everything going on the left-hand side. What's he doing with these Stalkers? Oh, okay, he's trying to pick up some creep tumors, but...
Yeah, the creep is unbelievable now. This is... he's in check. He's not checkmate yet, but he's in check. And VortiX is going to look to try and grab the Mothership core out of this if he can grab a couple of pulls. Yeah. Obviously, that's very, very good.
What Prism's going to try and head in again, but there's still just Spine Crawlers set up everywhere to deal with that.
Oh boy. First is in a pickle. VortiX in prime position now to take that first plane ticket to California.
Yeah, playing it out patiently, playing out strong. This is very, very difficult style to deal with here for First, who right now is going to be facing off against a 10,000, 6,000, 7,000 bank from VortiX. Difficult to really kind of deal with.
Oh, he loses his high tempo at the front there.
Oh.
He lost 3 of them. 3 or 4 of them.
And it's just those small trades alone that really make the difference. I mean, it's VortiX has lost like 700 resources in the past 5, 6, 7 minutes, whereas First has lost around, I don't know.
Yeah, and the problem is that obviously First is always building stuff, but kind of VortiX isn't. And there's no way that he's going to keep his income high. The Natural's almost finished. The 3rd and 4th base are not that far away from finishing either.
Gonna walk forwards here for a second. Still a lot of this is cloaked up, so it's difficult to really get to. The Overseers play a big part, but they get then in range, and it's difficult to deal with. How did these Roaches get it? Did they just walk in?
Yeah.
I haven't been as observant on the minimap as I should have been, but there you go. I'm not a pro observer like Funker, just an observer.
And it's just, he's losing so much. I mean, he's lost about 5 cannons already. 1,500 minerals gone. That's, you know, an entire mineral patch gone on just cannons, which he doesn't really have that many mineral patches left. He's losing a bunch of stuff in the main base. Nexus is going to die, maybe. And of course, he's going for the 2 Tempests here with his Corruptors.
Alistia was able to hit Revelation on the Corruptors, so he knows exactly where they're going.
He's going to lose his 2 Tempests anyway, so now you've got an expensive Tempest you're going to lose as well.
Difficult to really deal with.
He's just, think of all these things he's losing over and over and over, and he's not going to be able to replenish them for much longer in this game. There's 2 Tempests gone for nothing there again. Locust still trading away against anything they can find on that right-hand side.
He's actually moving forwards. He has to be very, very careful about how far he goes.
Time to see some action, I think.
If the Vipers actually get the abduct, he pulls his mothership, though, back because he knows that that's the one contention point in this army. Has to be very careful, has to keep that alive. It's so expensive to replenish.
He loses High Templar. He gets a couple of feedbacks.
Okay. But he's just replenishing with Corruptors, because he knows that that's the focus point from here on out.
8,500 gas.
So much gas. Tempests keep working away at that air army of Vortixes, but again, with the replenishment power. But at least First has been able to start mining and get the mining from the gas for a long time on that gold.
Yeah.
That's one consolation prize during all of this. He's actually just going to fly straight in here with the Corruptors. How much can he actually get done? The mothership...
trading.
Yeah, he kept that at the back and forced that away, so in the end, he gets a few Tempests for his troubles.
Yeah, a few Tempests, does lose quite a few Corruptors in the mix as well, but he will use his money to his advantage now and replenish them quite easily. If only he could have grabbed the mothership, he could have had a free Locust time.
Yeah.
Try to always look for position on that mothership. If you can drag it out of the fight, that's very good for you.
I think, yeah, First has been babysitting with that well, that's for sure. It's so funny, he had to replenish a few Overlords as well because he lost so many Overseers in that fight, so getting those back in and pushing forwards again with these Corruptors. Has to be careful of Storms. Loses an Overseer, was that to the feedback? Regardless, does deny any kind of pulls away from that mothership.
And now he's been pushed back again. Creep is going to be respread, and the game is going to continue on the way it has been for the last 5-10 minutes, where the Locusts trade off against anything here. But it's First is like he's playing against a sand timer. Like he's running out of time in this game because he's running out of money. He needs to make a massive impact in this game soon, otherwise he will run out of money, run out of resources, and he's going to take another heavy loss, like he's done exactly to Snoot in the past on this very same map.
And I was a little bit worried that the lower bracket wouldn't catch up to where we were, but VortiX with his good graces seems to be okay with the idea of that happening, because this can still take a while. First can still stall out, but he is running out of gas, as you mentioned, and that becomes a real limiting factor. Whew. Oracle playing with death there. Gets the Revelation in the end. Does see the entirety of those Corruptors, but that only really spells his demise in the end. It's almost 10,000 gas banked up here for VortiX.
Yeah. A Mutalisk switch, you know, through anything. Yeah. I mean, I guess not anything, but any kind of Mutalisk Corruptor composition doesn't matter. You've got so many options here. He's added on more spores to defend his right-hand side, I think, of case any run-bys.
I mean,
if he can grab the Mothership core, that is a big win.
Yeah.
But it is very good from First to keep it alive.
I mean, First is kind of constrained to the point where he was even a little bit long distance mining from this bottom left, this base down in the bottom left here. He is gonna feel it very soon. He's gonna be starved out. But how many temp is
16 now? A very good number. Very good high amount. But it's not 16 Tempers versus the Corruptors, it's the 16 Tempers versus the money.
Mothership doesn't really want to be losing this.
Yeah, that's very good for VortiX.
Gets the focus down, has to replenish that again, and how many Corruptors? He didn't really lose that many Corruptors during that engagement, so that is a really nice trade.
Well, I think 11, right? Because he has to rebuild 12.
Did he? Well, okay. That's kind of a few, but relative to the bank, it's not too bad.
It's nothing compared to the bank.
Yeah.
But the Locusts have got free reigns underneath everything now.
And the Corruptors are just trading again.
Well, you know, Corruptors are good against massive units. These are some big units here.
Oh, they're big uns, and they're falling down just
replenishing
as well.
It, and look at the bank difference. 700 gas now to 8,000.
Yeah. He took down a big chunk of those
He was on
Tempests.
16, now he's just on 8, so he took down half of them.
He's getting the Mothership back in, but again, that's a huge chunk of change that you've got to invest into that. And it's technically in quite a vulnerable location, so if he saw that, he could try and drag it out.
Yeah. Second base and first base now have completely mined out of minerals and gas. The third is very shortly going to be mined out as well, so then we're only going to be working on these two mining bases, the gold and this bottom right-hand side one. And you can start to see, it's just, this is why the Swarmos games are so slow, because Zerg's like, okay, well, I'm going to win eventually. Like,
you can sit there for as long as you like.
Yeah, I don't really care. I'm going to win eventually. I just have a lot of money, guys.
He's going to go in. Oh, no. Okay, pulls back. The storms do prevent him from doing much more there, but I still think that it was, forced by the fact that this mothership is still not there, so he was looking for an opportunity.
Yeah, just got to respread the creep a little bit, I think. It's disappeared a little bit at the front, but
he's got it going on the right-hand side. Tries to keep going down there, but there we go. The mothership is now in full force, so should be able to cloak up some of these cannons to maybe save them later on.
Yeah, and again, if VortiX is able to pick up the mothership core, then we're going to have another big round of damage from VortiX, because once the cloaking is gone, everything underneath dies. Tempest do not have enough fire output to be able to deal with the Locust numbers.
First is just kind of scrambling and reeling to keep on inside there. I mean, of course he has got his Tempest number back up, and yeah, that is going to stall out for even longer, but how much longer? The gas is waning.
Third base is depleted now completely. Next is on the fourth base, which has now got 450 gas each on the assimilator, so that one is going to run out very shortly as well. So, as you can see.
And his Warp Prism harassment during the previous couple of attempts just wasn't effective at all.
Yeah.
So he wasn't getting to the focus point that he needed to for VortiX and shutting that down. He's just been completely having free reign over the other side, to the point where now VortiX is like, well, I'll have this base as well.
Yeah, it was starting to be cleared out by first. He was getting to the left-hand side and was actually getting rid of all the creep. So he's like, all right, I'm just going to build a hatchery there, just let me take it to shore and respread the creep there.
And that's nothing to VortiX in terms of the bank he has. Yeah. Why not just take that base and say, well, I'm going to have this now. It's mine. Thanks.
If you can, he's got to try and focus the mothership core again, the mothership itself again. He might try this now.
A lot of Corruptors. Good Storm will deny this from pushing forwards. He gets one Tempest, pulls back, only loses one or two Corruptors. Third one will fall to the fire of the Tempest at the end. But he's going to go. Why is he? Whoa, okay, maybe he's going a little bit too far here. Those Archons.
Yeah, he's got to do something.
Yeah.
You know, he can't sit around defending his gold base all game. He's got to actually go over and kill VortiX somehow. It's just the somehow part is the difficult part of this kind of scenario when you're placed in it. The mothership core.
Grab it. Oh.
He's going to go for it.
He's actually not even looking to grab it. He just focuses down. He loses a few of the Corruptors during that.
But it's okay. He's got 19 more on the way.
Yeah.
And how's that fourth base doing for gas? Oh, it's going to run out. Still 250.
Where are we at? Oh, down here. Yeah.
250. Not much left.
Get into the mineral lineup at this top right-hand base, but a lot of the work has been done. I mean, he has 52 workers still that can be transferred over there and mine it away happily.
Yeah. Not good news here. Versus, I mean, he's doing good defending this high ground, I guess, but he's got to move out. He has to kill his money. He's going to run out of money, and then he's just going to have minerals left. And what is he going to do? Zealot only to kill the Locusts and everything else? No. Yeah. So he needs to be active. He's starting to get some damage done now, but VortiX is remaxed again on Corruptors. He's going to just wait for these to heal up, I'd imagine, and then go again. If not, go sooner. And here he's going for the mothership core. That's gone instantly.
Oh, damn.
And now the Locusts get another round.
Yeah.
Where they can get in and out and start doing damage to the Colossus and the Templar. And look at them at the front. They're just going to die instantly.
Yeah.
He's so careful.
And without the mothership, you sometimes have to spend storms even on fleeing from Locusts, and that takes it away from killing Corruptors off.
So he didn't kill any units there, but he brought two of the Colossus to half health.
And he's going to push forwards again here. Corruption will lose a lot of these Tempests, now bringing these down. The numbers plummeting here for first. Look, I mean, look at his supply alone.
The Locust to the TIE Templar and the Colossus. And then it's just Tempest with 80 more Corruptors on the way. It's a war of money, and VortiX has too much. It's been like this for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, he's been slowly starving first out, and now he's down so much supply. 25 Corruptors in production.
It's over. First is taking another big loss. Like the Shenzhen qualifier earlier on. He lost the Snoot in this position, and he's losing to VortiX now. His fourth base gas is mined up, so he's only got that gold now.
He's been totally broken. Totally broken.
Yeah.
And eventually he'll be broke.
There is one High Templar, one Tempest, one Colossus, and two Oracles.
And here comes the Locust Wave once again. It's going to be very difficult to hold this one off. They'll dissipate, but there you go. GG. Congratulations to VortiX, who makes it through first at the very end, and Saxery in the round before to be first place in our qualifier for San Jose.
Yeah, congratulations. VortiX is going to America to compete in the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose tournament. And it's the first time in all the qualifiers we've actually run that we've seen a European qualifier. The last person did was Snoot, and then before that was even longer ago. So you know, congratulations to VortiX there. Great achievement for him for sure. Very painful loss for First. He's now thrown down into the lower bracket with the likes of Saxry still left there, with the likes of Yoda still left there, 4GG still left there. So you've got a very stiff set of players down there that are competing against each other to try to take the last slot available.
Yeah.
And one of them is going to take it, and the rest are going to be disappointed here.
Yeah. But then, as we said, congratulations to VortiX. He shows that despite his kind of lackluster performance in the WCS, he still can hang with the best of them here in Europe. First and Saxry being his victims. Really good stuff.
Yeah, congratulations. A big win there for VortiX. And he like you say, he's the simple underlying story here is he's qualified to go to the Interstream Masters. So VortiX will compete in December the 6th and 7th in America.
All right. Well, that does it for our upper bracket, guys, as we have VortiX moving on forwards. Join us after the break when we'll be doing some lower bracket to find out who our second person is at the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose.